Hello everyone, it's Theme Park Avenue, I'm Eric, and today I am ranking the top 10 worst roller coasters I've ever ridden. Before we begin, click the subscribe button if you haven't already so you know when new videos come out. So there's one thing I really need to point out before getting into this ranking, besides that this is my opinion and my experiences. There are many defunct roller coasters that could have made this list, but I'm not going to be including the defunct coasters. So I'm going to name them quickly. Mean Streak, which is now Steel Vengeance, Goliath at New England, which is going, Mind Eraser at Six Flags New England, which is now Riddler Revenge, which I hear is good, Roadrunner Railway at Six Flags Great Adventure, which honestly would have been number 1, but it's gone now, and Green Lantern First Flight at Six Flags Magic Mountain. That's now at La Ronde, but I'm not going to rank it here. However, it would probably fall at 4th place. Let's get into the ranking. Number 10 is Anaconda at King's Dominion. I hear it's run a bit better lately, but I thought it was one of the worst aero coasters. It was really bad. I hear it had a weird history with Togo. I may be wrong about that. The underwater tunnel thing is cool, but it's really just a gimmick. So the ride is pretty painful, and that's one of the big things most of these rides have in common, and that is why this is in the top 10. Number 9 is Corkscrew. My last ride on Corkscrew was surprisingly good, but still painful, and it's still a really weak layout overall. So it really just is one of the worst, definitely the worst coaster with Cedar Points. Number 8 is Flying School at Legoland, Florida. This is tough, because it's a kiddie coaster really. It's a family coaster, I guess you could say. It's a suspended family coaster by Vekoma. It hurts. It's really painful. I really don't like it. They added a little bit of tiny Q theming, but that's really it. It's probably one of the most painful Vekomas, honestly, as weird as that sounds. Number 7, probably the most controversial pick, Batman the Dark Knight at Six Flags New England. This is one of the worst B&Ms in my opinion. Worst floorless without a doubt. Way more painful than I expected. Really, really hurt. It was a mix of headbanging and surprisingly just rattle. It was really surprising for a B&M floorless. All the others I've done are pretty smooth with the exception of Rougarou, but this one took the worst parts of Rougarou and applied it to the entire layout in terms of roughness. And the layout itself was not really that good. This is one of those rides where just because it's a really good, big type of roller coaster doesn't mean it's spared from criticisms. Number 6 is Flashback at Six Flags New England. Without a doubt, the worst Vekoma boomerang I've ever done. Well, except the giant inverted Goliath, that is worse. But Flashback, which could also be going, but we've not heard it's closed yet, so it's going to be on here. It's the most painful one, and it's as simple as that. Vekoma boomerangs have an okay layout overall, short, but sometimes pack a punch. This one is just really, really harmful. Number 5 is Time Warp at Zamperla Velar. A nice entrance sign, but that's it. These things suck. Honestly, I really, really hate the Zamperla Velars. And that's why number 4 is Superflight at Playland. So I'm going to kind of talk about number 5 and 4 together a bit here, because they're both really bad. The way the seating is just really weird. They feel like they should not be permanent coasters. Like, they feel like they've been moved around a lot and should be. I think Superflight was a bit rougher, but that might be because I had a ride more recently, but these are easily 2 of the most painful coasters I've ever done. Number 3 is Green Lantern at Six Flags Great Adventure. Honestly, worst B&M. I'm really shocked because I like stand-up coasters normally. I like Vortex at Canada's Wonderland. I liked Mantis a lot. Riddler's Revenge is fantastic. This hurts so much. I like that the one loop is yellow, but that's the only thing I like about this one. It was beyond painful. And it's basically Batman the Dark Knight pain, but also the fact that it's a stand-up coaster made it worse. So it's a really, really bad ride. Number 2 is the Great American Scream Machine at Six Flags Over Georgia. Supposedly 2018-19, this was retracked or something like that. But man, this ride is probably the scariest I've ever been on because of how painful it was. I knew what I was getting into when the lift hill rattle was worse than pretty much any other wooden coaster I'd been on. It's a really, really rough ride. And the layout is huge. Some people will comment that the airtime is pretty good. And I mean, maybe a few moments were alright for me, but this is pretty much a list of most painful coasters, as I think the worst can mostly, in most cases for a coaster, be measured as the one that gives you the least favorable ride experience. And honestly, the airtime does not come close to making up for the unbearable pain that this ride delivered compared to many others. Number 1 is Flight Deck at Canada's Wonderland. Worst coaster I'd been on, and still one of the worst coasters in the world, I'm sure. I haven't been on every SLC, but this has to be one of the worst. It's just so bad. There's not a whole lot else to say. It's rough, terrible restraints, the tracking's a bit off, it really throws you around. You will feel pain if you get off of this ride. I suggest skipping it. It's not worth the credit, especially if you've already done one of the old SLCs. That is my ranking. I'm sorry for all of the negative energy, but it's just that these are really negative rides that give negative experiences. So thank you for watching, like the video if you enjoyed, subscribe for more content, I'll see you next time.